YouTube, this is your president, the presidential tourist, back with another video. I'm here in Bartow, Florida at Golden Ridge Groves. This is going to be a fantastic video. I'm not just I'm going to get a tour of the place, but also interview with the owner. And they have a really cool growing technique they have here. They actually grow citrus indoors. It's called cup, and she'll explain how it all goes and everything. We gotta head in there and check it out. But I'm pretty excited. This has kind of been in the works for a couple months, but with personal things that's been getting in the way, I had to put it off. So I'm finally here to film it. Whoops! Finally here to film it. We're gonna go in there and tour. You know what that means? Let's get to it. Yeah. Okay, first can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I'm Katie Bevilacqua. I own Golden Ridge Groves alongside my husband Shane, and we've been open about 5 months. We're citrus growers by trade, and we open the market to spread awareness about the industry, what's going on in the citrus side of agriculture, but also create a space where families and friends can come together and have kind of that ultimate farm experience.
I know you said you've been only open for a handful of months, but obviously it took a lot to get here to open. Can you just talk a little bit about that process?
Yeah. So I'm third generation, grew up in ag. We got really excited last year when we really started to see the fruits of our labor, if you will, with the cup structures and what's happening with the grapefruit and the citrus we're growing under there. So we started talking about how to bring that to the public, because consumers don't get to hear a lot about what's happening in the ag industry and all the innovations and cool things that we're working on. So as we started brainstorming, we came up with Golden Ridge Groves, and what we are is we're a U-pick and farm market. We offer we open our cup structures to the public so they can go and you pick some of our grapefruit and citrus inside of those structures. We also do pick strawberries. And then inside our market, we have local goods and produce from all over the state of Florida. And we also do fresh squeezed juice and homemade ice cream and desserts.
Now, is that technically considered an inside grove?
So, cup structures are so new that I think it kind of just depends on how your interpretation. It is actually grown under protective screen, so CUP stands for Citrus Under Protective Screen. You could say that yes, that is an indoor grove. It's not. It does still get rain and wind a little bit inside of the structure, so you still have the elements come through, but definitely a lot less than you would in a traditional outdoor grove.
Now that's mainly to protect against citrus greening, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's caused by a bug.
Yes. Yes, HLB is the bug name. It's also known as the Asian citrus psyllid. We believe it came over from China about 15-ish years ago, and slowly after multiple attacks to a citrus tree, it will kill that citrus tree from the roots up.
What other citrus diseases do you gotta look out for?
Oh goodness, so canker is still something we treat for, something we watch for. There's also diseases brought by other bugs. Thrips is an issue. And then also you have all the elements that Florida brings in by way of weather to the state. So hurricanes, strong winds, thunderstorms, all the things will impact the tree in one way or another throughout each season.
Now, how does that structure hold up to hurricane force winds?
So we've been experimenting and evolving the structures over the last 10 years, and so more and more we've been able to develop the structures to be more hurricane resistant. We still do have to do a lot of repair work in the structures every year, especially after a big storm, but we found that it's manageable.
Okay. Tell us a little bit more about your family history. I know I read online your grandfather started in it, right?
Yes. So my grandfather started in citrus, and then him and my dad and his brothers started in blueberries. They were one of the first berry growers commercially in Florida. They created a company called Sunny Ridge Farms. And then when they retired, my dad and my uncle were retired for all of 5 seconds. And then my dad paid a visit to the UF IFAS Center in Lake Alfred, saw what they were doing with the industry, trying to develop a cup structure or some way to protect the citrus trees against greening, and jumped on board, and since then I've been back full swing into the citrus industry.
Now, what's the challenges of growing in Florida versus, say, any other state?
So I think, number one, the elements are probably our biggest challenge, one of our biggest challenges in this state. I mean, we have such inconsistent and fluctuating weather. We have a lot of strong winds and rainstorms and hurricanes to contend with, even some tornadoes every now and then. So that presents a huge hurdle to jump as well.
What's a typical day for you around here?
Oh, it differs every day. So typical day for me looks like making sure that the store is functioning, that we have all of the best citrus and produce that we can provide for our customers at the highest quality, making sure that we have juice ready and available as well as the ice cream, but then also making sure all of our U-pick areas are ready to go and looking their best as well.
Are you concerned with the orange juice industry here in Florida? There's so much is put under development. They're building houses on a lot of the groves. You think that's going to be a continual problem?
I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I know that our family is very invested in making sure that we do keep some citrus in Florida, but as far as what the future looks like, I'm not sure. I hope that perhaps we can keep some citrus here, though, for sure.
Now, you have this market here. Can you just show us around a little bit and tell us what you sell here?
Sure, yes. So we'll start with the produce side. When we developed Golden Ridge Groves, I had grown up on the commercial side of berry growing, so I never really got to talk to the consumer directly. We always dealt with the big markets. So I got really excited with the opportunity to showcase Florida produce. I wasn't even aware of all the cool things that we grow here in the state. So this is our produce section. It varies what we carry per season, but we are Florida first. So we try to source everything here from a Florida farm and really kind of show off all the awesome things that local farmers are growing here around the state. Yeah, so this is that. Right now, one of the highlights of our produce is our strawberry onions. As you can see, they're huge. They taste really amazing. And I also found some purple strawberry onions recently, which is pretty cool. I think that the strawberry onions are a huge draw because they're seasonal, they taste really great, and they coincide with strawberry season, which everybody loves here.
Is there anything that does not grow here in Florida compared to, say, someplace else?
Oh yes, yeah, there's plenty of things that don't grow well here in Florida. We are showcasing some dragon fruit and pineapples and things like that, and a lot of times it's more difficult to find those, if not impossible, to find those in Florida just because they don't grow in this type of climate.
What about pumpkins?
Pumpkins, I've heard, are very difficult to grow in Florida. I haven't done too much research on growing them, but we will have a pumpkin patch in the fall. Yeah.
Is that where are you going to import them in and then just put them around in like a field for the, because I know a lot of places do that.
Yeah, we're going to probably do a pumpkin and squash patch, and I know we're going to probably source the pumpkins from elsewhere just because they're difficult to grow here in the state.
Okay, and please continue.
So our prized jewel is our citrus. Florida's known for its citrus. It's really amazing to be able to feature a lot of the locally grown citrus here in Florida. This is our Cups grapefruit. It's a Ray Ruby variety. It's spectacular in flavor and look and consistency. We're really proud of it here at the store. And then at any given time, we try to have at least 5 different varieties on the stand. And we try to mix those up, whether it's a grapefruit, we try to have orange varieties, tangerines, mandarins, just it all depends on what's in season. But we like to have a big variety because there's a lot of great outdoor and cups growers out there that we'd like to showcase their stuff.
Now, does all citrus grow well here in Florida, or is there some better than others?
Some better than others. So there's a couple varieties that actually grow better up in North Florida and even in Georgia because they require a little bit more cold than we get down here. So weather is a huge component to what types of varieties you can grow where.
Okay.
Yeah. So coming this way, we have our fresh squeezed juice. We have over 6 different flavors of juice here that we make fresh in the store. Our juicery is right back there, and we can go take a look at that too. But we juice everything in-house with the varieties that you see on the stand and that we grow in the field here. So everything is literally from farm to bottle. We also have our strawberries here. So during strawberry season, we've got 2.5 acres of strawberries for you pick, but we also sell them here in the store. So if someone isn't really interested in picking, they can come and pick them out of the store, which is much easier. And we also use our strawberries in our strawberry tangerine fresh squeezed juice, which is a huge crowd pleaser. Everybody loves that. And then also, as far as juice goes, we have our swamp juice, which is tangerine and blueberries, which we love to tell people that it's made with alligator toenails and mosquito wings, but it's much tastier than that in reality.
Do you ever see any alligators out here?
Sort of. So we have a lake down the way a little bit, and so we can see some alligators over there at times.
Okay.
Never this close though. So speaking of our juicery, it's over here in the juice room. We're usually in there every day making fresh juice for customers that come in. And really based on the time of season, we could be juicing different varieties every day. It just depends on what we have in stock and what's growing right now and what's the ripest.
Okay.
And then finally, our sweetest part of the store is the creamery. We have our homemade ice cream. We have 4 flavors. We have strawberry, blueberry, orange, and vanilla. We also have partnered with Kelly's Homemade Ice Cream in Orlando, and they provide us with a bunch of different amazing flavors. We make a bunch of milkshakes, and then we also have our Grapefruit Delight, which is our sorbet. It's non-dairy, and Kelly's actually makes that with our Cups grapefruit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I know something about a tractor ride. You can get like a tour here.
Yeah, so we do offer hay rides on special events, and then also for private tours. They can come out and check out the farm, learn a little bit about what we grow and how we grow it here. So we do offer that on occasion.
What some of the special events do you have here? Like weddings? Do you ever have any weddings?
We have a couple festivals. We've had a couple festivals anyway. We have one coming up called the Berries and Blossoms Festival, and that's actually this weekend and next weekend. And we're going to be doing all things strawberry. So strawberry you pick, shortcake eating contest. We're going to be hosting some strawberry jam canning classes. And then also we'll be doing some sip and strolls through the orange blossom groves, because this is the perfect time to get that classic Florida orange blossom smell. They're in full bloom. The trees look beautiful, so we're really excited about it.
Okay. So what is the season for grapefruits?
So the season for grapefruit is typically November through March or April, depending on how the weather goes in the season. So we're wrapping it up here actually probably while we've picked all the fruit. So the fruit should still be good till we're thinking about April. It's in its peak ripeness right now, so if you're looking to buy a Ray Ruby grapefruit or any kind of red grapefruit, now is that time.
Awesome. Do you have any social media websites you want to promote?
Yes, so follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. All of that is at Golden Ridge Groves. And then we also have our website where we keep everybody up to date on what's happening on the farm, what you can pick, what you can do on any given week. And that's goldenridgegroves.com.
All right, cool. Anything else you think people should know about this place?
Maybe the outside. So we're actually, we've got a really fun outdoor area where people can hang out. They can eat an ice cream or have a milkshake or a fresh squeezed juice and play cornhole. The kids have plenty of games to play. They can go hunting for gemstones or play with some of our power equipment. And then on the weekends, we usually have food trucks, so they can come out for lunch or brunch and just take a load off and enjoy the day. It's hard to beat this view.
Definitely. So how much of this land is your land?
So all of the groves are ours, to Old Britain Road. So to the next road where the orange groves stop, that's our land.
And over there was the cups you were talking about, right? Across the street?
Yes, so that's a cup structure that we're picking grapefruit out of. We're also building a Golden Ridge Groves cup structure over here, which will be 30 acres. And we're gonna put not only the Ray Ruby grapefruit, but we've got about 6 or 7 different varieties going in. That will be some orange varieties, some tangerines, some mandarin. So we'll have a lot of you-pick options here in the very near future.
Now I read it costs about $1.50 per square foot and then $60,000 for a whole acre, right? To enclose the grove in that?
It can, yes. It really varies, but yes, that is that's a good average.
Okay, and you think you're going to do all of this like that, or is this going to be just open like this?
No, so we are going to keep some of the outdoor grove. We are growing Valencia out here, which is great for juice, so we're using that a lot of the time in our juice, fresh squeezed juice that we just talked about. But next year, we're actually going to take 8 acres and make a corn maze and do like a fall festival experience. And then we're also going to plant and grow some blueberries, so we can pick those too.
You ever thought about doing something like a haunt? You know, like
I have thought about it.
Haunted house?
Yeah, or like a haunted corn maze.
Yeah, it was. I did walkthroughs of several of those.
Cool.
Actually, there's one that's actually happens pretty close to you called Blackwater Grave.
Yes, Yes.
I'm not sure if
on 60.
I'm not sure if you know him or not.
I don't.
But he does a pretty good job, and they're getting more and more popular. And your land would be perfect because you have a lot of space, because you need really a lot of space for that.
Yeah. Yep, we've thought about it. I don't know if we'll get it this first season, but it's definitely on the radar.
Any other future plans you want to talk about?
Well, at this point, no. I think that's pretty much it. We've got some expansion plans with the cup structure and the corn maze and the blueberries, but and then we normally have sunflowers and wildflowers for picking as well. The freeze took them out, but we have replanted and they should be back in April.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. Thank you. I appreciate you having me come down and film an interview with you.
Absolutely. I hope I did okay.
Yeah, you did fine.
I'm not the most interviewee person.
Well, thanks again.
You're welcome. Excuse the door. It's a hot mess.
Yeah, this is definitely pretty cool.
Thank you.
You know, technically we're indoor, but it actually really feels like you're outdoors.
Yes.
So I know I was reading some online, there was a little bit of debate whether this is considered an indoor grove or an outdoor grove.
I think it's pretty subjective. I think you get it's like a happy medium, you know. We still get rain, but it's very dissipated, and then we get very little wind, but you do still get some of the elements.
Now that bug that causes the citrus greening, how small is it?
It's about the size of a mosquito.
Okay. So.
Yes. So this is one of our cup structures. Right in here we grow 99% Ray Ruby grapefruit with a few other experimental varieties that we're working with the University of Florida on to see how they grow in the structure. So sorry, that's that.
Now, how old is these trees?
These trees are between 6 and 7 years old.
So when you first plant them, when do they start producing?
Great question. So interestingly enough, for Ray Ruby grapefruit, it typically takes about 4 or 5 years to see a first crop outdoors. In here though, we're able to see a first crop in as early as 18 months, but normally about year 3 we start to see a really good crop.
So what does it take to get from the time you plant to now? I mean, obviously you just don't plant it, it has to be taken care of.
Yes, so there is a lot of caretaking involved every year, as well as making sure that it's getting the proper irrigation and nutrients, as well as treating for any disease or pests or anything that might harm the fruit or the tree itself. So there's a lot that goes into it every year.
What's the life expectancy of them?
Well, typically they used to live 30 to 40 years. I'm not sure. We'll have to find out. Being that we're in a cup structure, we're just in kind of a new territory, so we're not sure.
Now, when a tree needs to be replaced, they usually all be replaced at once, or do you just take a tree here and there? Since they're all been planted at the same time, do they generally live all at the same time? You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. So, barring any weather, like the freeze we just had, or something that would really interrupt a mass of trees, if we do need to replace trees, it's usually, a couple here and there.
Is it a big job to uproot one of them?
Good question. I don't know. I've watched it. Thankfully, I've watched it on an outdoor level, but I've never watched them take one out in here, so I'm not sure.
How many people do you have working for you?
Well, during season, it really depends on if we're picking and what we're picking, how much of it, but typically year round, we have 4 or 5 people.
Okay, not as many as I thought.
Mm-mm.
This place is so big, you would think you would need hundreds of people. Of course, I could barely grow a houseplant, so I am not one to know much about growing anything.
Yeah. No, admittedly, I am not the farmer. My husband and my father do almost all of the farming, and their teams. So I am like you. I hardly could grow a houseplant.
So how many acres total do you have?
As a family, we're about to have about 750 acres under the structures, but locally here in Alturas, about 250.
Okay. And how big is this one here about?
This structure here is about 45 acres.
I'm assuming this holds water for it?
Yes.
Is there a lot of plumbing that you have to do when you first start a grove?
So I would say yes. I guess it depends on who you ask, but all of these trees have ground irrigation that goes all the way down that waters each tree or skips every other tree depending on how you set it up. So we work very heavily with irrigation companies to come in and plumb and make sure we can get enough water and we have the pressures right, and so I would say yes.
Since a lot of the ground's sand, do you have to prep it when you first want to put a grove in?
It really depends. So we work with companies to test the soil to understand what kind of organic matter is living in the soil, if it is conducive for a citrus tree, and if it's not, then yes, it can get a little cumbersome. You have to prep the soil in that way, but every now and then we can forego that, and the soil is good enough, so we're able to plant without having to do a lot of that prep work.
Now I've seen some groves when they get a little overgrown, they have this machine come and like these blades that goes around them to shape that.
Yes.
Do you know what that machine's called? Because I was always wondering.
It is, well, we hedge, so it's a hedger. A lot of times it's a tractor attachment. So these were hedged a couple weeks ago. So we hedge not only down the sides, but also on the tops to make sure they don't get big enough to poke holes in the top of the structure.
How if you would let them grow totally naturally, not cut off, how tall would it get? Do you have any idea?
It really depends. It depends on a lot of different factors. The rootstock plays a big role in it, as well as the environment that it's growing in and what it's having to combat. Outdoor trees are really inconsistent as far as new growth goes on how big or how small they'll actually be able to get. But in here, we make it to where they don't get above 13, 14 feet.
Now, obviously, sometimes a year you get more water than others from the rain. When you have to water it, how many gallons do you use? What is your water bill? I mean, I'm assuming it must be gigantic.
So we are on well water out here, thank goodness, but I'm not sure. That is a farmer question. I know that they work every day to make sure that the amount of water, whether it be rain runoff or irrigation, they get the amount of water they need, but I'm not sure how much that actually equates to on a daily basis.
Well, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Very peaceful too. I could be out here all day.
I know. It's really nice, and it's nice that it's overcast. In the structure in the summer, it gets a little hot. So one of the interesting things is it can be anywhere from 5 to 15 degrees different in here than it is outside.
So hotter or cooler?
In the summer, much hotter. So when you're looking at like a 95 degree day outside, it can be 115 in here. And because you don't have a lot of the wind, it's very tropical, very humid, because all the water that we're using in the sprinkler systems and to irrigate the trees just makes it very muggy.
Then could you grow more tropical related stuff that you normally couldn't grow in Florida in here, you think?
Yes, so I think so. So for instance, the red grapefruit is known to be a tropical citrus. It grows a lot in South America and Cuba because they have more of a tropical climate. So being able to create that in this controlled environment has allowed red grapefruit trees to really thrive, where they're putting on a lot of fruit so far, and as you can see, the trees look really, really healthy.
I'm assuming you have to make sure there was, when you put this over this, that there was no wildlife in here that couldn't get out,
right? Like
birds or a fox or something.
Thankfully, with the construction, I don't think we really have had to worry about that. It gets pretty loud, so they tend to stay away. But we do end up sometimes getting wildlife in here. They come through the net.
Like what?
Well, we've had rabbits in here. I think we've had a couple birds have flown in. But typically, no, we don't see that much wildlife.
Any squirrels, raccoons?
None that I've seen. No, none that I've seen.
I'm assuming probably the little lizards, maybe some snakes, because they're a lot smaller.
Yeah, they can get through the bottom of the screen, or anything that can dig a hole can kind of get under, but I really haven't seen that much.
Now I know it's designed to keep out a certain type insect, but does it keep out most insects like moths or ladybugs, things like that too?
No, so smaller insects can definitely still get through the holes, because like you mentioned, the whole goal was to treat or combat against greening. So we do still have insects and bugs that come in. It really just depends on their size and the opportunity.
What about bees?
Bees don't do well in here because they can't find the sun. They use the sun to navigate their way back to the hive. Mm-hmm. They can't see the sun because of this type of mesh, so they don't do well in here.
Now I know I asked you off camera, but I want to make sure because I want to ask you on camera so they know about. But you produce your own honey. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we have honey here. We work with local apiaries, and they will put their hives out in the groves, on our outdoor groves, and so we can have that super delicious, fresh Florida orange blossom honey when it comes about that time of year.
So you say it makes a difference when they go to the orange blossom flowers?
Yes, so orange blossom honey is specifically from bees that pollinate orange trees.
What about like grapefruit trees or tangerines? Do they do that too?
They do, yes. So orange blossom honey can be any kind of citrus. It's really citrus blossom honey.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's where your like wildflower honey, those bees pollinated wildflowers. So it brings certain attributes to the honey depending on what they're pollinating at that time.
All right, cool. I think that's it. Thank you. This is very interesting.
You're welcome. Did you want to get some B-roll going down the trees or anything like that, please?
I might, if you don't mind.
Yes, go right ahead.
I just walk a little down here, and maybe I might just walk over there for a second too.
Yes, absolutely.
This is really definitely cool.
Do you smell them?
Oh, I smell it all right.
Yeah.
It's been forever since I've been in a grove like this. Where I used to live, we had a grove out back.
Yeah.
And they knocked it down and put houses there, which really sucked because I loved living next to the grove because it was so peaceful, you know?
Yeah.
And now they had all those people there. Luckily, I moved out of there, but I used to love just walking in there a little bit and just enjoying the ambiance, you know?
It's nice, yes. Well, and this is the perfect time. This is our favorite time, other than obviously when it's full of grapefruit. But I mean, the orange blossoms look perfect and they smell great, so.
That they do. I'm surprised some people don't want to pick those and put in like bouquets and stuff because that gives a great smell.
I know. Well, the thing is with the orange blossoms that they'll eventually become the crop. So we're really careful to mess with them because, you know, without them we don't have grapefruit. So.
Yeah, this is definitely cool. Like I said, you'd have a perfect opportunity also to do a haunt. Something like this, I can see a million ways you could have someone come out and scare you, you know? To get one of those fog machines.
It's cool.
You know, like kind of like a Jason figure. That'd be really cool.
Listen, and it's creepy, kind of creepy in here at night when it's pitch black.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
I could imagine being out here all alone.
Woof.
Be having those Freddy Krueger vibes.
Listen, you never know what's hiding in these trees.
Definitely.
It's funny, as a kid, I grew up on a farm, obviously, as well, and in the groves we would drive around at night on like the four-wheelers and the golf carts, and it was a vibe. All the you dare your friend to like go under the tree and look and see if there was anybody hiding in there. 100%.
I think I got enough going down here. Oh, one quick thing I wanted to ask. Now, why is this divided? Do you know? Was there a particular reason, not just to keep it all open, or did you maybe build one part and then add on later on?
I'm not sure. That's a great question. The only thing I can think of is at one point we had sectioned this off, so you can see the screen hanging down here. And then as we just kept going with things and the screen and the structure evolved, we just took it down. Now, is that an opening down there for heavy equipment?
Yes.
Yes, so this and that down there is our entrances for picking and for caretaking and depending on what we're driving in.
How long would it take to pick this whole thing? On average.
Depending on the crew, it could take a couple days. So not that long, depending on how many people you have and if they know what they're doing.
Now I've seen, oh yeah, there's a rabbit right there.
There you go. Don't ask me how they get in here.
I think some of them just dig.
I think so too.
Because they're supposed to be really good diggers.
Yeah.
I have them all the time around my house at night especially.
Yeah.
And this place is right for them to be out here and do their rabbit stuff.
Exactly.
Now one more thing. Now when I've seen them pick groves, I noticed they have these like big rubber bowls. I think they put the oranges in or whatever. How much does those weigh? Do you know?
It depends. They come in different sizes. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure
Now,
to be honest. I know they vary in size.
Now obviously you can't just go to the local Walmart and buy one of those. Where do you get stuff like that?
Oh, so they have like grower supply stores and things like that. We do a lot of, we partner with a lot of third-party picking companies that supply them for us.
Do they supply the workers too?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, all right. And I'm assuming this is a newer section?
That is a replant. So as we've been experimenting with different varieties, some have worked out, some have not. So what you're seeing is a replant, and we've put in grapefruit instead of the previous variety that was in here.
Okay, you said about 5-6 years this will be big enough to produce?
Really, in maybe about 18 months to 3 years.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, typically your first crop is not the most incredible because the trees are so young. But crops 2 and 3 get exponentially better, and then by the third crop, the trees are mature enough to put on a really consistent quality crop.
Now, you know, by some of those orange juice making factories that sometimes you smell like a burn-in orange smell. Do you know why that is?
I don't.
It almost sounds like it was superheated or something. I always thought it was, depending on how it is, sometimes it doesn't smell good and sometimes it smells great.
I don't know. No, I'm unsure. Could be their processing. But I have no idea. We don't process our juice, so I'm not sure about that.
All right, awesome. I think that's finally it. I'm sure I'll think of more questions later on. But yeah, that's just want to give everyone a good idea what you do here. This is really cool.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, we're thrilled about it. We're excited to bring it to the world. So I'm very thankful to have you out here to help us get the message out.
All right, thanks. We're actually back. We're going to try some juice. Let's go into the swamp juice first. Here it comes.
Nice to meet y'all.
Yeah, that swamp juice is great.
It's pretty good, right? It's blueberry and tangerine.
And you make all that here?
Yes, sir.
And I see you sell some too.
Yes.
Definitely good. Let's try strawberry tangerine. That's very good too.
Yeah.
Now, do you have this like the entire year? Or is it seasonal, some of this?
So that's a great question. At this point it's seasonal. My hope is that we can try to get it to be year-round. I'm just trying to figure that out. But right now it's seasonal.
Let's try this one now.
We are going to freeze some of the orange juice though and sell it frozen over the summer so people can still get that Florida orange juice no matter the season. So stay tuned for that.
Delicious, thank you.
Absolutely. Wash my hands and then I'll give you some level just some samples.
Okay. And we are now going to try some samples of some ice cream that they have here.
Heavy hitters, if you ask me. Do you like grapefruit?
Sure, I do.
Okay, so we're going to save that one for last because I don't want it to taint the rest of your taste buds. So we have blueberry, strawberry, vanilla, and orange homemade ice cream that we make with the fruit on the farm. So if you, like blueberry strawberry. Let's do a little sampling.
Definitely. So we're gonna try blueberry strawberry. Some of this they make here, and of course some they get from there too.
One on the thick side.
Okay.
This is our blueberry strawberry twist.
Okay.
Let's see what you think. Which one? The shake? Oh, absolutely. That's my favorite shake.
Oh, okay,
you can't
good.
go wrong.
It is.
Good.
Nice.
I didn't taste it though.
Yeah, that's definitely very good. Very creamy too.
Yes.
I like it.
What'd you say?
Awesome.
It's very good. Very creamy.
Okay.
I like it.
Get some.
You want to try some? Try this?
Get some.
Well, I intend to. Before we go, you try that.
Oh my God, what is this?
Blueberry strawberry twist.
Oh,
Very creamy, isn't it?
no wonder people get this.
Alright, this is the vanilla orange or dreamsicle.
Oh, cool. Hey, try this one, the vanilla orange first.
This is so good.
You like it?
This one better. You gotta buy something.
I like this, but I think I do like that one better too.
That was my favorite. Okay, and then last but not least, Kelly's. And they, when we first got to working with them, we talked about maybe having a Golden Ridge Groves like only flavor. And I really wanted to use our Cups grapefruit because, as you know, it's really cool what's happening in the structures. So they actually make this sorbet with our Cups grapefruit exclusively.
That is very good, very tart. I like it.
Yes, can you use spoon bed?
Yes, please. That is really good, guys. Not gonna focus too well. And I want to point this out because I think this is cool. You don't see this term very often. They call their bathrooms the water closet. Actually, that made me laugh because I haven't seen that term in forever. All right, that's it. Fantastic tour. Katie was super nice. I enjoyed my time here. Mom enjoyed her time here. We bought some of that swamp juice. We bought some orange juice. We bought some other treats. I definitely highly recommend coming here, and I definitely will be back. It was a very educational tour. We definitely learned a lot about what they do here. And yeah, definitely check this place out. I'll make sure I put their link below and their website below and their address below and all that good stuff. But we had a great time. Hope you enjoyed this video. You know what that means. Time to get on to the next one. All right. And if you happen to stop here to see this video, make sure you let them know that the Presidential Tourist sent you. All right. Thank you for watching, everyone. Bye, everybody. Bye. You know what that means. Peace. Bye.